Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Focus. I'm Anna Marie De La Vega. Our guest today is Mayor Freddie O'Connell, the 10th mayor of the metropolitan Nashville and Davidson County.
You got it.
Okay. So you've just passed half of your term,
That's
right?
right.
Like
Yeah.
in September or something?
Late September marked 2 years in office, so It is wild how time flies.
When you first got elected, you sat down at your desk. Did you just go like, whew, here we go?
No, we had actually been getting ready, and Nashville is a bit unusual among cities because we don't have any formal transition process defined anywhere. And so the election happened on September 14th, and I was sitting down at my desk by September 25th. So we had 11 days to kind of get ready and know what we were doing on day one. So It was a pretty quick transition.
What did you do on day one? First phone call?
So we started in the courthouse upstairs. Judge Briley actually swore me in. Our family came to kind of participate in that. And then walked right downstairs and started signing graduation certificates for Session 104 of our Metro Nashville Police Department. So we immediately got some new officers on the force.
Fantastic. So some of the big things that you've accomplished in the first half of your term include transportation, big changes. Would you let people know what all has happened in the past 2 years?
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. So year one, we did a lot of going through old plans, kind of looking at what worked, what didn't, what made sense, and pulling together key departments like WeGo, our local transit agency, our local Department of Transportation, which does our streets and sidewalks, and kind of brought them together and said, hey, if we could give you all a program where you knew you could fund things over the next 15 years, what would that look like? And so we brought in a transportation planning specialist who joined us from Vanderbilt, a guy named Michael Briggs, who was actually just announced as the transit champion for this year, which was exciting and a good recognition for him. And then by April, we had rolled out a whole program we called Choose How You Move, and it was really focused around four key principles: sidewalks, signals, service, and safety. And it was designed to be 15 years of some infrastructure development, better corridors with real safe sidewalks, connection points to them, 24/7, 365 transit service, upgrades to intersections and signals all across the city so that everybody gets more green lights. And, of course, anybody anywhere, whether you're a pedestrian, motorist, using our transit system, that you're safer. And so we took that to voters by November of last year, and so next week we celebrate 1 year of Choose How You Move being in action, and it's pretty amazing. We've already got 100 signal upgrades funded. We've already done some serious service expansion in WeGo. We've added a transit security division. We're announcing successes with both Journey Pass, which is really a low-income fare access program, and then also WeGo Ride, where we've had a number of businesses offer employer-based transit. So a lot of expansion there, and then starting to deliver more miles of sidewalks. So in just a year since voters approved this, we've made a lot of progress.
I believe I read that this is the first time someone has secured dedicated funding for this whole transportation
That's right.
program.
So Nashville, sadly, until last year, was on a list of just 4 out of America's top 50 cities that didn't have any kind of dedicated funding for transit and infrastructure. And so very pleased that Nashville voters agreed with our program overwhelmingly. We just had such tremendous support and energy in the community coming into Election Day, and now everybody can have confidence that we're going to be building out a better city for all of us over the next 15 years.
Do you feel a push to kind of get it done in the next couple of years? So it's like, okay, we've got if I'm elected again, great, but so nobody can come in and like suddenly just shut things down.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been an urgency. We developed it so that year over year it gets better, that people can see the changes, feel the changes, experience the changes in a bunch of different ways. But yeah, there really is urgency. We didn't want to pass it and just kind of sit around doing drawings for 2-3 years. We wanted to really put this into action, get it to be something that hopefully by next summer we'll have much better, for instance, airport express service, that people are already seeing routes that used to only come once an hour, where you'd see a bus infrequently. That's sped up a lot. There are already new sidewalks going under the ground in multiple different areas. We're about to have modern signals all the way up and down Lebanon Pike so that you get more green lights there. We really wanted to be in a position to move quickly.
I noticed you mentioned earlier to help transportation needs of low-income persons.
Yeah.
Would this be some people who are unhoused?
It could be. So we have worked with our human services entities within Metro to basically say, yes, if you're receiving any kind of level of service from the Office of Homeless Services, if you are getting benefits of any kind from the Metro Action Commission, Metro Social Services, if you are, in many cases, an MDHA resident, you're very likely to just automatically qualify for Journey Pass, which is our low-income fare program. And then you get a 3-year pass to access transit, because we know, especially right now, as we're watching people lose access to SNAP benefits, transportation costs are actually the second highest cost for most Nashvillians at a household level. And so housing, transportation, and then you get to other costs after that. So if we can help people lower that cost of transportation, then suddenly the city becomes much more affordable.
And if you can't get to work,
Correct.
If you can't get to where you need to go, then it all crumbles.
Well, and just a little over a year ago, we also opened the Rip Patton North Nashville Community Transit Center. This program calls for several sites like that around the city. Historically, we've done this hub and spoke model where we have one downtown transfer facility where basically all buses for all routes come in there, and it's kind of a pulse. And if you're coming from East Nashville trying to get to North, South, or West Nashville, you kind of have to do this expensive transfer in the middle of where you're ever trying to go. As soon as we opened the North Nashville Community Transit Center, people could go immediately from North Nashville to East Nashville without having to go downtown first. And it just opens up the city and makes those trips much shorter so that people who are using transit to commute, to get groceries, to deal with childcare, extracurriculars, school activities, we're trying to make that much smoother process across the city so that those trips get shorter, again, offering more affordability, making it easier for people to access the city.
And it also helps people who already have their transportation taken care of. They're griping about Nashville traffic, and we don't have all of that congestion because people don't have to come in and then go back out again.
And I have said it for years, you give me a convenient transit option, safe, if I can walk somewhere or ride my bike somewhere safely, I will be out of your way as a motorist because I'd rather be doing those things anyway. If I can use active transportation, improve my health, get where I'm going, or sit on the bus and catch up on work, read a book, these are much better than me driving myself, especially by myself around the city. I'll be out of your way. But the good news is we're also offering additional benefits for motorists. We do expect, and we had some forecasts on this, that if we get this program done, people are going to be reclaiming 10% of the time that they're spending stuck in traffic right now.
Yes, I totally understand that. What about the money for Metro Schools? Where is that going?
Yeah, so Metro Schools has been just on an incredible streak of student performance gains. Just last year, they had the highest graduation rates in the district's history. This year, as TN Ready scores came out again, historic gains that we've just not seen this level of student performance 4 years in a row in our district of students demonstrating the highest growth in state data. So we're competitive against school districts across the state, and we're growing year over year at a rate at the very highest level in how the state measures this. So not only against our own benchmarks that we set locally, but against the state framework for data that they're offering, we're doing this. And this happening even as state funding is declining as a share of how we fund schools. So we're trying to step in, support Dr. Battle in what she's trying to deliver, but it's amazing. We've got now this program called University MNPS where students who are performing well can have full scholarships to all 8 of our colleges and universities and Nashville State. So It's pretty impressive. And even better, we've got a program called Early College High School, which connects Nashville State directly into Metro Schools. So this past May, I was with Whites Creek for their graduation. The valedictorian, who gave a wonderful address, already had her Nashville State diploma in hand as she was receiving her high school diploma, and she had a full ride scholarship to Vanderbilt. That's the kind of thing we're seeing in our public schools right now.
Wow. Did you cry just a little bit?
Yeah. I will say the thing that was actually maybe the point where your eyes start to get watery was the school district won an Emmy. They won a regional Emmy for this student written and performed song called Every Student Known. And if you and your listeners haven't seen it, definitely encourage people to go look it up. It's this really wonderful expression by students for other students talking about the experience of schools, and they won a regional Emmy for it. It was really amazing.
Because the goal was to let every student know, I see you.
Correct.
I know you have specific needs, and then let's help meet those needs.
That's what the district's mantra is, and I think student by student, we're really starting to see that happen. And I think you're seeing that in the student performance across the district.
In your second half of your term, you're still working on more transportation issues, improving the Choose How You Move plan. You said kind of continuing that fast and furiously.
Yeah.
Also, what about the East Bank, the affordable housing?
Yeah, so those two things are very closely related. The East Bank has a lot of moving parts. We're in the stages of trying to get to a deal to build a new Tennessee Performing Arts Center over there. The Titan Stadium is already underway and under construction. I'm sure you and your listeners can see that happening. The Fallon Company is a group out of Boston that, right as we were taking office, had been awarded an RFP to do some of the private development. Our office secured with them a century of affordable housing commitments there, which I think is going to be really important. And that's kind of going to be the headline, I think, for the rest of the term. This spring, we got a unified housing strategy from our housing division in the planning department. And it's really a decade-long look at the things we need to do to offer greater housing affordability to all Nashvillians. And so it means we will probably have to have increases in supply of housing, looking at both subsidies and supports, where private sector and philanthropy come together, where our academic, healthcare, and faith-based institutions start to contribute some opportunities for land and partnership. So there's a lot in there, but I think that is what we're looking at, is just knowing that in a city where our area median house price has hit $500,000 and our area median income is about $100,000, there's a gap. And so we know that we have to offer housing affordability as that other top household cost. That's the thing we're going to be tackling as the other headline. This year's operating budget gave us the framework to continue on fundamentals, where we developed a community improvement program focused on school services and safety. We're trying to deliver on the fundamental services that Nashville as a city offers, everything from trash collection to filling potholes. We've filled tens of thousands of potholes and continued our paving program. We're trying to tackle deferred maintenance so that parks are always in a state of good repair, roads and sidewalks are always in a state of good repair. And then I shared with you what we did on day one. We've sworn in 250 new police officers. We're right now on a trajectory where we could see the lowest violent crime rate in the city in 40 years.
Whoa.
So we're on that community improvement program has helped us hit our fundamentals. We've got the best credit ratings in the city's history. We have historic student performance gains, low unemployment, and again, trends where crime is down across the board in every category right now. We're going to try to continue that and then work on housing, continue implementing the East Bank and transit. It's going to be a busy next couple of years.
I guess so. Mayor O'Connell, is it partly because of putting the money in the right place, but also because you've gotten everybody to work together? You've gotten this group together and these different groups to work together and be unified.
Yeah, we have done a lot of things working with other key partners. I'm very fortunate. Several other mayors, not just here, former mayors of Nashville, mayors from around the country who reached out after the election, suggested starting off in this program for new mayors. That's a really great collaboration from Bloomberg and Harvard. And their entire model that they recommend is trying to improve cross-sector collaboration. So we have been really focused on that. It's how our Choose How You Move program came together. It's how we've been approaching the process of the East Bank development. We're going to need the same thing as we tackle housing. We've already pulled together a leadership council to help us tackle that. It does mean a lot of people working together. And then that model works in crisis too. Even before I took office, our city has done really, really well. It's a tough thing to know that we've had so many tragedies, so many tough moments to respond to, but our Office of Emergency Management, Fire and Medical, Police, Department of Emergency Communications, they have such a great model where when the Emergency Operations Center is active, that is a place of collaboration, everybody looking to offer the right assistance at the right time. So whether it's in crisis or just kind of offering city continuity of services, we're really trying to do an excellent job of cross-sector collaboration.
The fixing the potholes, putting the sidewalks in, getting more officers on duty to help our safety, is that kind of what's called the back to basics approach?
Yeah, we knew that if we were going to go do big things like Choose How You Move, try to secure dedicated funding for the first time ever, really offer a level of service, a model of delivery of infrastructure that we hadn't been seeing, to do big transformative work like that, we've got to give ourselves the confidence that we're getting the small things right too. Mm-hmm. And so there is absolutely a lot of focus on the idea of customer service. And so the same way that you were talking about people collaborating and working together, I think it's really been great to see not just department leaders across Metro, but our Metro workforce really start to enhance that experience of Metro as a customer service entity, because we really are. We have 2 people sitting at the front desk in the mayor's office, and when you walk in, you know you're going to get service there. If you call the front desk, you're going to get service there. And they all use this great tool called Hub Nashville that's really a one-stop shop for any kind of customer service, whether you see a pothole, a street light that's out, somebody that has littered, done illegal dumping, somebody in crisis. You can report just about anything you see happening in the city that might need some Metro attention just by using this app that's available on almost every smartphone, visiting hub.nashville.gov, or calling 311. And so our team uses it. I use it personally on a regular basis. It's great because not only does it get us responses from the right place, it also lets us capture data. So if it turns out we see a portion of the city where there's pothole requests coming in, we can actually change our paving program to know, okay, wait a second, roads got really rough in this part of the county. We need to get out there and maybe approach this systematically. Or, hey, this seems to be a place where illegal dumping is happening more than some other place. We might need to get some enforcement out there. So it's a really good tool for understanding the city, understanding the customer service needs, but it's also a really great front door for all of Metro.
This is an issue that's been near and dear to my heart for a long time. People who are unhoused,
yeah,
and finding affordable housing for them.
Yeah.
There are programs that have been helping them.
Yep.
I don't know how they've been affected with the federal government shutdown.
We're still kind of holding our breath on some of this stuff. We know that there were already deep cuts coming that haven't even hit yet as a part of this shutdown. And it's tough. We've got really 4 ways that federal action is about to make life for vulnerable Nashvillians even harder. The first was DOGE, this series of cuts that just came out immediately. The second was the mega bill, which cut benefits and healthcare and SNAP already before we got to the shutdown. The third is rescissions, where spending that had already been authorized just got kind of a gamesmanship that allows departments to wait out the budget cycle and kind of not do the spending. And the fourth is now the shutdown. And so we're responding for vulnerable Nashvillians as well as we can on all fronts. We're very lucky that we got Strobel House open last year. It's Metro's first ever permanent supportive housing facility that offers services on site for the people that are chronically the hardest to house and maybe at greatest risk of homelessness. So that is almost 100 people getting homes and having the opportunity to be there for the long term. It was fully occupied within the first year. And so our unified housing strategy is looking at how can we develop more of those types of facilities more quickly. The Barnes Housing Trust Fund now has more than $200 million that we've offered, and we're excited to start to see more people trying to do permanent supportive housing or other types of very low income, deeply affordable housing coming through that program. So again, we're not just trying to build more market rate housing or even just what's known a lot as workforce housing. We're also trying to expand the number of very low income affordable housing options as well.
And you called it for those who are most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Which is not just people who are unhoused, but low income.
Yeah. Because we know if you're earning minimum wage right now in the city, it can be especially difficult to find secure and stable housing, and that's why this unified housing strategy is so important as a blueprint for how we can offer better housing affordability across the city
and across the board to everyone.
Yes, to everybody.
One of the things I read that you were working to enhance the sense of belonging for Nashvillians. What do you mean by that?
Well, just as we were finishing our citywide conversation as a group of mayoral candidates and people trying to get elected to Metro Council, vice mayor's race, as we had our local elections in 2023, against that backdrop, an organization called Imagine Nashville had started a big listening campaign. And what they found was pretty interesting. In fact, the organization that worked with them to do these kind of community surveys across the country said in Nashville, they saw an off-the-charts sense of belonging that already existed. But they were also looking at the fraying edges of where it might have the greatest vulnerabilities. And interestingly, our immigrant community had a very strong sense of belonging. But if you were in certain communities of color, race and ethnicity, if you were at a lower socioeconomic threshold, you started to see that sense of belonging fray. And so I think it's also important to have, one of the things that we've done is look at all of those entry points that you can enjoy the city. And like if you're looking at what Parks and Libraries offers every week, that there are programs absolutely for free, all ages, everything from wellness to entertainment, from, puppet shows to yoga, to ways to get outdoors, enjoy the city, and remind ourselves why we like being here in the first place. Mm-hmm. And so I think after COVID, when so many people got into more of a rhythm of isolation or solo activities, we've been looking at ways to have our public spaces, our public facilities, reinforce that opportunity to come together and be part of community. So there's really, I think, still a lot of opportunity for people to enhance their sense of realizing they like being here, they feel like they belong here, and we want that for all Nashvilleians.
And the transportation issue is going to be a big one to let them get to those places.
100%.
Because a lot of people live in an area where there's not the library, there's not the park, there's not the entertainment, things like that.
Yep.
They have no reason to feel like they belong.
And so that's also been a part of our overall program, is just looking at where communities get morale boosts. And so over the past couple of years, opening a new James Lawson High School in Bellevue, a new Goodlettsville Elementary School, a new Percy Priest Elementary School, a new Paragon Mills. We're about to cut the ribbon on a new Lakeview out in Antioch. These things give teachers, students, families that sense that, yes, somebody is interested in our futures. And then we're putting places like Mariposa Park, and there's a new park under design and implementation right now that was in a part of the city that didn't have a park before. And then investing in a big way in Mill Ridge Park in southeast Nashville, in one of the fastest growing areas with a lot of room to create great playgrounds. There's a disc golf course. There's a lot happening in communities that maybe didn't see those types of investments for a long time.
And they may or may not have seen those types of facilities available
nearby.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
Anywhere. What else do we want to look at for the next 2 years? We're going to let you out of here pretty quickly here. What else we want to look at for the next 2 years that you want to let people know that you're working on, Mayor?
Yeah, so there's a couple other things out there that I think are really important for people to understand. We have incredible opportunities within what Metro is offering for people to improve their financial condition, their health and well-being. We have a financial empowerment center that's a partnership with the United Way. You can go get completely no-cost financial advising and consulting, and this program over the just over a decade that's been in existence has helped people eliminate bad debt, credit card debt, car loans, those kinds of things, and increase savings by the millions of dollars. So we're adding a role to the mayor's office to strengthen that program even further. There's an amazing program called Nashville Strong Babies that was piloted in a handful of zip codes over the past few years that is now countywide. Again, as the federal government has been retreating from obligations in health and nutrition, we're trying to advance that. So Nashville Strong Babies is a great program for expecting mothers in the first year of an infant's life, trying to help more people celebrate their first birthday where you've seen greater risk of maternal or infant mortality. What's amazing is for that 5-year period, participating mothers had a 100% survival rate. So it is really helpful for prenatal period and then that first year. And so that program's been amazingly successful. It's now available countywide. I encourage people to reach out to the Metro Public Health Department if they are expecting or starting to be in that first period of newborn and infancy, because that's a great program. For right now, as people are worried about SNAP, we have joined forces with Second Harvest to announce a Hunger Can't Wait campaign. So definitely encourage people to get in touch with Second Harvest Food Bank in Middle Tennessee. Whether you can donate your time, your treasure, they have volunteer opportunities. You can drop off food. You can certainly contribute financially. And then we're working across a network to make food drop-off and pickup points. And Second Harvest has this wonderful food finder if you are worried about your nutrition. Meanwhile, we're expanding our Fresh Bucks program at the Nashville Farmers Market, where an EBT dollar can be matched. So you basically get an ability to buy more fresh produce, dairy, and so forth.
What did you call it? A what?
Fresh Bucks.
No, but any.
If you're on EBT, like basically using food assistance, you can take your EBT card there, and
Oh.
basically get an extra dollar for every EBT dollar you spend to spend at the Nashville Farmers Market on fresh produce.
That's fantastic.
So want people to know that our local safety net is sturdy, even as the federal safety net may be fraying a little bit.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Just encourage people to keep up with us. Visit nashville.gov anytime. You can find out what's going on in Metro, and the city is here to serve you.
And we can find out where we can help.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell. Make sure you join us again next week. I'll put links up on the Focus Facebook page. I'm Anna Marie.